America, Daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play option. Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
That's what we're going for, Americans. That's what beautiful. We want.
I'll tell you what, is that beautiful? I
love that. I'm a sucker for mountains and
I can see
water.
I can see both. A Disney World in my
Starbucks.
future. I can see a Starbucks there.
Oh.
I can see a Dollywood for those southern-minded people.
And I like the color. I like
the color is awesome.
That you could have red houses, yellow house. I mean,
it is beautiful.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, except for one thing. Let's just say the one thing. If you could put a bubble over Greenland and warm it up a little bit, then it would be even better and keep the ice. But it's Matt, what is the weather in Greenland today?
I don't know, but I'm gonna look right now. We're gonna look up. Here's a question. Anybody in the chat, if we have any Greenlanders on, or some of our friends from Europe, is the pronunciation of the capital Nuuk? Am I saying this correctly? I've only ever read it. Nuuk. How would one pronounce the capital of Greenland? A metropolis of 20,000. I don't know. Troy, do you know how to pronounce it?
I'm gonna call it New Knoxville, because that's part of what we do.
Wow.
Well, when you type in Greenland into weather.com, it tries to get you in Florida. We're gonna type in Nuuk, and Nuuk does come up. Weather today, would you believe it? Better weather than I have.
Wow.
Better weather than it is.
Maybe he's on to something.
Listen, it's 14. The wind chill is rough. It's -5. But the weather in many parts of the state is colder than that. Now that wind chill's tough.
Listen, if you're waking up and it'll be, you're looking at the market and we're down 1.5%, so over 100 points on the ES, you think to yourself, what happened? This is what happened. We want that island. Give us that island and no one gets hurt. And that's kind of where we're at right now with the island situation of Greenland. So
and can we mention the proposed food on that island? Tacos, right? As you look at the market here, not trying to make light of any situation, but as you look at the word taco, that's where it is. President Trump says, we're going to tariff all you guys for not making life, not going along with me. And is it going, we're down 1.5%. Is it going to stay down, or is he going to come out and say, you know what? I didn't mean it. Or will those things change? I mean, those are all a lot of those are big. How many are allies of us, Matt and Troy, that?
Well, the Greenland situation is all allies.
All right. So all allies.
Yeah.
Is he not going to lighten it up a little bit? I mean, you would think.
I do not think he's going to lighten it up.
Oh, really? Okay.
No. So, I mean, this is just my take.
Yeah.
Again, my filter for Trump is he has one move.
He has one move, like a basketball player with one move.
Just one move. He's got one move. He's practiced it 1 billion times, and he just does the same move. So that move is just his over-the-top personality, pressure, threats, hyperbole, exaggeration. Those will all be a part of this. Wow. And so here's the other thing that I think, Trump's been around for 10 years. And I will say this, he still shocks people. And even though we've seen it before, seen the move before, I think because we've had people text us, Troy, and say, we want to get your macro takes. We want your punditry. Somebody said you need to rename the show the OO Pundit Hour. We're not going to do that. We're just going to keep it the OO show. But my take is that, I think Trump, when you think about Trump, he wants something with Greenland. I don't think he wants it to be a state. I don't think we're going to invade it. The U.S. is not going to invade it, but there's going to be, I think there's some sort of increased American relationship, presence, territory, something with Greenland, I think is the outcome. I don't know exactly how precise they want. I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
So futures are down 109. And
yeah, I mean, listen, I think the market,
some excitement.
The market, the weekend was kind of set up for this between like Iran, as they say.
I know
there was a bunch of different stuff that could have happened. And so this is one of those catalysts, that was going to happen one way or another. I don't know how it plays out. I mean, to the thing of like Matt's thing, I agree with Matt, but I agree with Dan as well because of Matt. Like, one thing we also know is that he doesn't like terror. He doesn't like when people come back and they're like, "Oh, this is actually going to break the economy if you keep going with this." That's the one thing we know he doesn't do. And
correct.
So, if he keeps playing around and Europe's like, it's a trade war. If you want a trade war, like you don't get a country because you want a country. Like, it's a trade war.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. And part of it, and this is where just the season we're in economically gets a little complicated, because the Fed announcement of the new Fed chair has a lot to do with this. I think it ties into it. Like, he needs someone to get interest rates down to zero. And if he has interest rates down at zero, he can play ball more in the style that he likes to play ball.
Yeah.
But if he has a Federal Reserve that behind him the whole time is like, no, you can't have 0% interest rates, which, no one's asking my personal opinion.
Right.
Interest rates shouldn't be zero right now.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
Yeah, so
hey, Troy, what do you think? I got a question for you and Matt, but first, it's just, when you look at the market, if you say, should people be on their tippy toes today? So far, I'd say no. I mean, we're right at if you look at the ES futures, we're at 68.68, right at the 50-day, right? I mean, we're whatever that, we're right at the 50-day simple moving average. But here's the thing. We're panicking today. VIX is up to 25. No, it isn't. VIX looks like VIX is going to be 20, right? Okay.
I was about to say, you got me. I was like, wait, what?
Oh, no. Troy got excited there. I mean, so that's no panic on that. So far it looks pretty, I mean, at least to me, that doesn't seem like much of a panic, but it seems like, again, with none of this coming out, none of this news out, none of the Iran or whatever, again, let's dial back. We were near the highs last week. Again, should the market, after 3 years of going up 20%, and even last year, during the year, we had a 15, 18, whatever percent down. Are we allowed to, is the market allowed anymore to go down 200-300 points or 4 or 5%? And I mean, we need to do that. So I think this is healthy. But my question was to you guys is, because this is a shortened week, would you have, on your testing, I think of last week, I put a 5.7 on Friday, right? Which today, it'll probably go through the short strike on the downside. It won't be a volatility problem. It won't be a problem. Now, do you guys, and the research you've done, is it the holiday shortened week you won't do as much, or the week before? What have you found?
I blacked out my 5.7 on Friday because the week it's going on has a different number of days, so the vol structure behaves differently. It didn't have anything to do with Iran or Greenland, but just because we didn't have a Monday, we started the week with a Tuesday, so the vol structure is going to be just different.
So you'll stay away from fight. Now, will you stay away from will you put other trades on Friday?
Yeah, I'll put them on this Friday. And even like,
no,
I'll
but
put
last
on
Friday, did you put any trades on last Friday?
I don't put on that many. I mean, I blacked out my calendars that were, that would have carried over yesterday. So I did not trade those. I think that's what you're asking.
Troy, same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't put. Now I have one on that I shouldn't have had on, but I just didn't take it off Friday. So that one's going to bleed today, as it is bleeding right now, because I had a couple of them. But overall, it's a short week. This is actually the worst of both worlds for a short week DC, because if you had the DC on, you probably got your short strike violated. But then also, if we do go back up, vol's probably going to act weird because it's a short week. And
well, that's a good point. You're saying, on one hand, you're saying, right, Matt, you wouldn't put something on last Friday, but as Troy made a very astute thing, you still have some trades on. You may have some ores in the
yeah, and I had some. I did a little bit of VIX last week. When I say a little bit, I mean the smallest amount you can do, because I like to keep fresh about how illiquid VIX options are compared to SPX. And so I have some VIX stuff that I need to probably close this
like VIX,
morning.
would you say long call or vertical?
Well, I was just experimenting with broken wing butterflies, legging in and legging out of them, and getting just wrecked by slippage every time. And so now I'm left with long calls and call debit spreads. So it's great now.
Matt,
so I will just close this morning.
You make a good point. You know, we talk about liquidity, and you say, well, VIX has got great liquidity. Well, if you've ever traded options in there, it isn't anywhere near the liquidity of SPX.
Dan, thank you. Like, and here's the thing. If you're new to options and you think, oh, SPX options, I understand how they work. I understand the assignment. I understand cash settled, all this. VIX options do not work the same way.
Right.
I do not understand. I don't have the good explanation of why there isn't a VIX option that functions the same way as an SPX option, but there are not. So there's multiple ways to trade VIX options, including VIX options, which is what I was doing last week. And they are much different than trading SPX options. And we're probably not going to go into them today, but they're priced differently. And for the purposes of this discussion, their liquidity is way, way different. Mm-hmm. And they function, they're tied to the futures pricing. It's very different. And Troy does some VIX options.
Yeah, Troy, VIX master.
Troy, you got any VIX on? All I've got to close is some out of the money calls, like really out of the money calls, and then some debit spreads.
I've got some
not
puts.
Much.
I've got some puts, not in VIX, but I switch back and forth between like VIX, SPX, SPY, depending on Q. Like, yeah, I try to buy whatever's cheap, the cheapest. Okay. Now they're all pretty fairly priced usually, but but we're sitting here talking like people trade long volatility. The majority of people don't go long volatility. So I want to show a test.
That's right.
Real quick. I've got good news and bad news for you, and we can look through this together and see what it is. But Matt, can you kind of tell me what's happening in this test?
Well, it's red.
Thank you, Matt.
It looks like what you're doing is whenever there's a huge gap down, selling a 1 DTE at the money, pretty wide spread, and then letting it roll. And because there's 1% gap down or 1.5% gap down, you're getting a lot of juice, almost 40% of the width of the spread on average, maybe max winner 2061. Yeah. So it hasn't, is this updated through? Yeah. So it hasn't fired since April, and listen, I look at this test and say, this is it's hard to find very easy edge and options just casually. A lot of times they're pretty fairly priced. This has a tiny amount of data points, but it doesn't surprise me. It's a 50-50 winner.
Well, and I wanted to show this just because the idea of saying like the market's going to go up, right? We're going to mean revert. Well, as someone who always doesn't want the market to mean revert, I always want to continue lower because I like trading. I'm biased towards feeling like it always goes up. But what this data point shows me is that you don't always go up, at least the next day, right? Because again, this is a 50 delta.
Right.
You know,
just basically at the money.
I think the key here is 1.5%, right? When, that's serious. I mean, to me, at least, when, it's like earnings, the expression catching falling knives on the downside. When, earnings has a huge down day, it's like, buy it. Nah, let's wait a couple days. And I think the same thing here, when you have this kind of a move, not that you can't scale in or dabble if you think, okay, we're near the 50-day moving average. We could bounce a little bit, even if it's during the day. We bounce a little bit during the day. Maybe you sell an at the money vertical, like a good risk reward or something. Could that work? Yes. But to get in there, okay, for your long portfolio and say, okay, this is it. Down 1.5, we're going to go in and buy Costco and all these stocks, probably to, the speed, right? 1.5%. I mean, that's why Troy's only got a few trades, because that's a big stinking move to the downside, and it does jack the volatility up. But
shout out Rob and Maria. The premium sellers have entered the chat, because what they say is Maria and I love down days like today because premium sellers rejoice. It scares the kids into buying our puts and calls, which is absolutely, I mean, you don't want to buy, as a general rule, when you think about the market as an auction, you don't want to buy a put today, right? You don't want to buy a put today. Now, at least like a naked put, long put, just pure Vegas stuff like that, because the move has already happened, but the move can also happen a lot more. So we're showing a trade premium selling where it doesn't work. I'm not showing you all the tests where it does work. So there's different ways to do it. That's the beauty of backtesting. Just like, I mean, to the point, I could show you real quick.
What happens if you change that? I was going to say, what happens if you change that to 7 DTE? I'm just super interested.
Well, we'll do both. We'll do both. Let me buy the put first and see what happens. Heyo.
You got some continuation.
Yeah. Now, let's go back.
Oh, you changed. That's also, wait, was one of them min 1.5%?
I changed it to 1% just to show that also.
It's about the same.
Yeah, 50%. Yeah, 50%. And so let's go real quick and do 7 days. Let's roll it out. 7 day, sell the spread. See what happens. Heyo. Amaro of 0, but it's better than Amaro negative.
And what you say on these things, Troy and Matt, if you're going 7 days out, I mean, to me, I get it. To get someone who's used to selling puts and say, you know what, go buy a 7 delta against it. Just buy something.
Yeah.
And now here's the argument. The argument is, well, Dan, that put's going to 0. Well, but here's the thing. Once in a while, you buy that 7 delta put, and let's say the market goes down another 200 points. It has nothing to do with the price. The vol of that long will go up, right? And you'll save your hide. I don't know. For me in this environment, not to go buy a 7 delta put. Now, I get it. There's responsible people. I think, many people who are doing naked options have a portfolio margin account, and they're very responsible, know what they're doing. But I still think, why wouldn't you grab a 5 or 7 delta put?
Agree completely. I mean, my only point is to say, you buy bullets when they're cheap. That's the goal. But here's the thing: if you're in a war, you got to buy bullets.
Well, but the other thing is this. Let's say you come in today and sell a put spread. You're set. It's not like you bought the put on a high, it's not like you sold the put last week at a low vol and
Right.
you're buying a high vol today. If you come in today, you're selling a put at a high vol, buying a put at a high vol, but the one you're selling has a ton more extrinsic value than the one you're doing. But again, I think with like Rob and Marie, they're very good, right? They understand this stuff. They know what they're doing. But I still think, just for me, I'm not good at, I'm more risk averse. Grab a stinking 7 delta put, because, if we go down 200-300 points, that put will suddenly be one of your best friends for the next 2-3 days, especially on a 7-day put credit spread. So anyways, I mean, or even if you had, here's the thing, if you had 4 puts credit spreads, buy 1 put, I don't know. Just for me, it's a good insurance.
I'm not a smart man, but last year, I just feel like last year the vol started around this time and it peaked in April, and we had an all-time high before the vol started. And something else that happened last night that I think it was last night, Elon tweeted out again, hey, should I sell 10% of my shares of Tesla? Do you remember last time this happened?
He did that last night?
We're going to check it in real time. Any Tesla people, can you please confirm?
He also was trying to get the Ryanair CEO.
Yeah, he's trying to buy Ryanair.
Yeah. Oh, is that okay?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he asked if he should. I mean, he's got so many tweets. I'm trying to find it right now, but I'm pretty sure last night he said, should I sell 10% of my Twitter or X or whatever? Here's the point. People thought it was a joke last time, and then I think he actually did it. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the next couple months we don't get a little more vol. Starting today.
I think everybody was waiting for it. I mean, we've been in this range, and you see, there's a horse behind me. Shout out Rex. Rex is ready for Greenland. I'll say that.
Yeah, Rex.
So,
the trade is lit. Oh, I got to put this one up on the screen. Thank you guys. Nice comment from Robin Maria as well. Before the horse comment. So,
I thought the horse comment was great too.
That one up on the screen too. Thank you guys.
No, listen, I think everybody was waiting on it. We've been in a range forever, and I know we always think that the range is just going to break out to the upside, but we've been in a range since freaking December. Like, this is how the market works. You break to the downside. We might go back into range for a minute. There might be a day or two where we're like at 6,900, and then we go above it. Like, it's not going to just always go up. And so we are probably due for a season of vol a little bit, because you need fuel to go up.
Troy, if that, and I agree with you, that could be the season we're into. How many people, if I said to you, what about a call credit spread? When was the last time people have done?
Good question.
I know that hurts people to think. I would love to know, like Rob and Marie and others, when you get in this 18, 20 plus vol environment, it's saying something very clear. With VIX at 20, the party is over temporarily. You say, what does that mean? With VIX at 20, we're getting more down days than up days, period. Just like when VIX is 15 or below or 16, you're getting more up days. So the question is, if you're in that 18 or 20 and we're staying up like a 2022, would you just reverse it? And on rallies and different things like that, sell call spreads. And what's one of the enticing thing about call spreads? For the same width, if you like the credit on the put spread, you're going to stink and really like the credit on the call spread, because it's about twice, right? If you do a 10 wide put credit spread, 10 wide call, because of the skews, you're getting a nice credit. You're thinking, wow, I never got this kind of credit on the put side. So, but I mean, that would be my interesting thing to the put credit spread people or put sellers like Rob and Marie and others. Do you cross over a little bit when we seem to have this kind of season of Mary Poppins, when the weather changes, let them have a few call spreads on the upside, or maybe work into an iron condor. There's many different things you can do.
I think that's a great question. I think it'd be great this week.
Test call
spreads. Oh, shout out from the chat. By the way, I may have said fake news about the Elon thing and 10%. It may have just been an old tweet. I'm trying to find it, so I'm calling myself out. Chat just dropped a comment. I haven't fact checked this. That also the Supreme Court ruling is supposed to come out maybe today, possibly. This is not a live news show, but we do what we can.
10 o'clock.
So I think it could be. I mean, this could be interesting. I would love to have a longer conversation about how the tariffs have actually gone, like with actual facts. But we're going to have to dig up some actual facts on that. To your point, Dan, talk about trade structure for a minute. Call credit spreads. You asked about them. I think people do sell them. I think they're a lot less common. The other thing that we've had a lot of discussion on the Discord just for years is downward exposure, broken wing butterflies, and calendars. And Dan, why do you look at those? And if so, why do you look at those from a Greek perspective? Troy, do you have can we model like a put calendar or something? Do you have a
put calendar?
I'm trying to put you on the spot, Troy. But for downward moves, why a put calendar? Why people like the Greeks for that?
Yeah, they're very. I mean, here's the thing. It's like, again, I bring up musical chairs. When the music stops, like generally people like you put on calendars when the vol's low and when it increases, great. Well, if we can stay high, right? There's nothing wrong with doing an 18-19 volatility calendar, right? When the VIX is higher, as long as the vol stays up. And you say, what really juices people about calendars when the vol is up is your break evens are from here to Iceland, right? I mean, your break
here
evens
to Greenland.
Are like, wait a second.
Here to Greenland.
I said the wrong one. Yeah, I see. Nukin. What a name, Nukin. But so your break evens are very wide. But then on the other hand, you're thinking if the music stops and we go up and the vol comes down, the party, not that the party's over, but it can be interrupted a little bit. But the break evens are, I love these out of, as Troy is showing, these out of the money put calendars, wide tents. They look nice. And Troy, you want to talk about, this is just modeling. I thought it was a test. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a put calendar. It's everything Dan's describing. Like you can hold on to these things. And I mean, if you want to get crazy, these are the days for dreaming. I mean, when these are some of my favorite days when you're gapping like this, because you can kind of, and I encourage you, if you're newer to options and you're learning options, like model stuff out and take screenshots on days like this when vol's really elevated short term, because you can see stuff play out. Like, for instance, you do a put calendar, but also, I mean, why not just while you're looking at it, maybe we go to all-time highs. Maybe something happens. You say, okay, I also want to do I don't know. I'm just going to make something up here. Something up here.
A ratio call spread? I'm just kidding. Not a ratio call spread.
A put calendar with a broken wing butterfly to the upside.
Yeah.
Right? With stuff like this, you can start looking at structures that what's going to happen. And then you can see what's vol, that butterfly gets more important as vol's going down. So you can kind of do stuff like that. You can also just kind of make the, let's say, for instance, like, let's go like that. That's going to cost you much more money. But, now you're kind of playing, do we just go to all-time highs or do we break above in the next 9 days? And, with the vol staying the way it is, you'll notice that the structure, to Dan's point, is not going to cost you. I mean, you're going to kind of maybe get paid for non-movement a little bit, which is nice in this environment, because seems like we're waiting on some stuff to figure out what direction to go into. So that's the beauty of it.
Well, so here's the other
Yeah.
thing that's going on right now globally is, are you guys familiar with Davos? Davos?
It's
Oh,
with
that
it
this week?
with it
Yeah.
good.
So any Swiss friends in the chat, we're going to rely on you for any local context here, but the WEF, World Economic Forum, is does their meetings in Davos. It feels like this becomes a bigger and bigger thing every year. Maybe I'm exaggerating that. Maybe it's just my algorithmic bias of what I read, but to kind of take this conversation full circle, maybe a little bit before the market starts here, I just feel like all this Greenland stuff is timed. Markets at all-time high. It can take some chaos. And Davos is coming up. And what do a lot of the leaders want at Davos? I don't know, because I'm not a mind reader, but I'm guessing they don't want chaos. So what do we have here? Just a little chaos in the system. So yeah, Trump is supposed to go to Davos. Macron, I think, was speaking tomorrow or today.
Okay.
So I mean,
Matt, do you see? I looked at Forex
Yeah.
Factory for tomorrow, and it mentioned President Trump is speaking. Do you see that on there for Tuesday
no, but I believe you. I can
or
look.
Wednesday?
I'm just looking at the feed right now, but I think you're right. And supposedly, did you guys see that? Like, supposedly, like Trump tweeted, or whatever True Thing is, I don't know what that app is called, but he was like tweeting a conversation with Macron about Greenwood and everything else. So the chat says that Besant, that would be US, was just in Davos this morning, was on TV and was super positive. Trump will be there tomorrow, meeting with heads of states. We'll cut a deal. Possibly. That's kind of where I'm going with this. I just think this timing is all
Taco. If he's going to be, so he's going to see a lot of these.
Well, I don't know. Is it? I mean, here's the thing about the
probably.
taco thing. Again, it's the one kick. Like, if you take that taco approach, you're saying, I think with Greenland, you're saying his result is that it becomes a U.S. territory, U.S. state or something. I'm not sure that's the result. I would say the result is a more nebulous, increased U.S. presence with access to natural resources and military, and maybe the opportunity to put a Starbucks or a Dollywood, Troy.
Yeah, I don't know what taco looks. I mean, this is the thing, is like he could literally just be like, yeah, increased presence, increased all those things. That's clearly not what he wants. But this is the whole point of rhetoric. It's like, that's exactly what we wanted. It was a negotiation all along. Ha 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 ha.
Right.
Ha ha ha. But like, I think, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, again, this is my general thing with like politics and stuff like this. And this is the world we're living in. And you have to love it as a vol guy. An options vol guy has to love this, because basically he is playing with fire. That's what he does. Rhetorical fire, real fire, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter to me. He plays with it. And America has a lot of like resources, and so you have the most chips on the table as a poker guy. But I've seen a lot of poker guys with a lot of chips on the table over bully a situation and lose a couple big hands. And so we haven't seen that yet, I don't think. I think one could argue the tariffs were that. The bond traders came in and were like, yeah, we got more chips than you think. And but other than that, we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
We don't have time to. I want to come back to the tariffs and talk about the tariffs, because here's the thing. The tariffs are like, I have people in this world. My former life was kind of in physical goods, moving back and forth. And I know people who are paying the tariffs, and it's had interesting impacts on a lot of businesses, but the US GDP is still kind of marching up. I would love to talk about how tariffs, how they impacted or didn't impact the US economy, the global economy, but also the US trade deficit and the finances. Cause I think they were both more, significant and maybe less impactful than people thought.
I think that data is almost like, I agree. I really probably would take the same side you do. But to play angel's advocate a little bit, like I think that's the most anecdotal evidence you will never find actual hard data about tariffs.
About how much we collected?
Yeah. About
you're saying you don't believe the official government numbers.
About who paid it.
Oh, well, who paid it to? That's an interesting conversation. I'm more interested in how much did the U.S. collect, and how much of a difference was this, and what did that do to the GDP?
I just think you can't separate it out from the thing, because the who paid it, if Americans paid it.
Oh, Americans paid a lot of it.
Then it kind of,
like, and that's why I think that's why it's an interesting conversation.
Because Americans brought in a bunch of American money.
Cool. Yeah.
Hey, who is it? Would you say is he's got it? Like Troy brought up an interesting point with the whole poker thing. Like, at what point does the bully with all the chips, does he have a little birdie that sits next to him and that he can trust? Like, is it Percent? Is that his name?
Yeah.
That will say to him, hey, you know what? Okay, so those are the guys that might say, you want to, hey, you got a little excited last night. Maybe you threatened all our allies.
I think Bessent's the guy that's like, we had some fun last night. Let's circle back around. I think Stephen Miller's the girl from Dune that's like, do it.
His mom?
That's my sense of
do it.
What girl from Dune is that, Troy?
It's the witch.
That's his mom, Jessica?
Yeah.
Okay, this analogy is getting really interesting.
I mean, whatever, it could be any character, but whatever character, it's like, I don't know. I think we've gone too far, Scott Bessent, and then the other side, which is Stephen Miller.
Oh, you're talking about the old one of the Bene Gesserit.
Exactly.
This is a Dune podcast. Yeah, this is going to turn into a Dune podcast.
Yeah. But I think what we all agree on is that I don't think we're planning things in centuries at this point.
Right. The U.S. our plans are not measured in.
Our plans are certainly not measured in centuries. So
minute by minute.
That's right. Well, listen. Speaking of measured in centuries, the market's about to open. Got some stuff we need to close early on, and by we, I mean me, and by things to close, I mean almost all losers. So, I hope you guys have a great trading day. I'll be back on 10:30 with Mark. Back on at 12 with navigation trading. Back on 3:30 to talk about small account challenge. And we will go from there.
Oh, that's today, isn't it?
Today's prime time.
Do you have the YouTube schedule handy?
I know, it's okay. You guys just go to YouTube and you'll see it scheduled and all that stuff. So it'll be fine. But listen, it's going to be a fun week. I think it's going to be a really fun week, and we'll have a lot of fun.
Stay safe, everybody.
Be safe.
That's right.
Have a guy.